So let's take a look at aspect ratios. For this standard of aspect ratios, we're going to have two types of problems. One dealing with TVs and monitors and that sort of thing, and also using tires. And the tires will be in the next video. So taking a look at the TV and monitor type questions, one of the main questions here, big questions, either find the area or find the height or find the width, given that you have an aspect ratio and a diameter. So our question here is to find the area. It might just ask for the width, might add or the width, area, and in the area you need the width times the height. So we're going to have to find the dimensions of the TV. So our aspect ratios are 4 to 3, so it's 4 times some number and 3 to some number. So 3x and 4x we can let represent our aspect ratio. Now the only thing, if you remember, the only thing we have between the height, the length and the height and the diagonal is basically it's a right triangle. So dealing with the diagonal, we're really talking about a right triangle, and the only relationship we have there is the Pythagorean theorem. So if you remember back in previous class, a squared plus b squared equal c squared, where c was always the hypotenuse, the side opposite the 90 degree. So you have to put the 3x and the 4x in for a and b, and it doesn't matter which one. The one thing that you want to make sure you do is square the 3 and square the 4 and square the 25. So you get 9x squared plus 16x squared equals 625. Combine the two x squared terms. The 9x squared and 16x squared works out to be a 25x squared. Now I chose these number 3 ratio. I chose these so I would not end up with decimals, but you could. Once you divide here, if this didn't go in evenly, you would get a decimal, which is fine. That can happen. But right here, that's going to go in evenly 25 times. Now, we know what x squared equals. We want to know what x equals, so we square root both sides, which is the opposite of squaring. So x equals, it's basically plus or minus 5. But we only, for area and distance, we only want the positive 5. So really, all we care about is the 5. Now, what we want to do is take that x value and substitute it in to find out what our dimensions would be. If we put a 5 in for x, 4 times 5 is 20. If we put a 5 in for x, 3 times x is 15. So our dimensions is 20 and 15. So area now can be found with the dimensions 20 wide times 15 high, and 2 times 15 is 30, add a 0 is 300 square inches. Okay, and there you go. That would be the answer to the question. Of course, if they asked you for just the height, you could stop here at the 15 inches. And if they asked you for just the width, you could give them the 20 and be done there too. So that answers several different types of questions dealing with aspect ratio. Okay, here's another one I often get a lot of questions on. So I would like to just go ahead and work this out for you. Okay, so you've got a newer film let me readjust that camera real quick. You got a newer film of 16 by 9, and it's being displayed on an older TV with aspect ratio 4 by 3. What percentage of the screen is being used by the image? Okay, well, let's draw this picture out. What are we dealing with here? Whenever you've got a taller 4 by 3 screen, these are like the older screens and monitors, and the new wide version 16 by 9 DVDs and stuff end up showing a letterbox on top because they're more rectangular, they're more wider. Okay, so first thing you want to think of, and let me get another color, is the wider one is 9x 16x. And the outside one is the 4x to the 3x. Let's just show that we are talking about the outside one there. Okay, so what we want to do here is, see, I can see that 4 goes into 16. So since that goes in evenly, I just make my value of x for the big screen 1. If x equals 1, then this is just a 9 by 16 viewing image. Now, what parts are equal? Are the heights equal? No, we have one height that is much shorter than the other height. But going a long ways, these two are exactly the same length. So that means that these two must equal. So basically what I'm thinking is 4x is equal to 16. What times 4 will equal 16? You can divide if it's not obvious, but in this case it is. It's just 4. So x must equal 4. So if that's the case, obviously that's going to be 16 because these are equal and this is 16. See how we knew that those were equal. But that tells us what the height will be. The height will be 3 times 4, which is 12. So now, we always want to take the image, the smaller part, and put it over the entire part. Okay? So basically, our image is 9 by 16. That's what we're viewing. And our screen is 12 by 16. That's the dimensions of the bigger TV. 12 by 16. And as you can see, the 16s will cross out. And you're left with a fraction. It reduces to 3 over 4, which is 0.75, or 75%. So we are viewing, the image viewing is taking up 75% of the image, and the letterboxing that is being blacked out would be 25% of the screen. And since 25% is a large amount, you would notice those letterboxing on top and bottom. So I hope that helps you set up your those percentage type questions, because those can be a little tricky without a little guidance. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.